James Mathers for the Digital Cinema Society at NAB 2022. I'm here with my friend Greg Smokler, and he's going to tell us about everything that's new with SmallHD. What do you got for us, Greg?
Thank you, Jim. We have a ton of new stuff from SmallHD, new monitors and new software, and a monitor that we announced a couple years ago is finally shipping as well. So we can talk about all those things. I think one of the things I'm most excited about is our new software release. We focus a ton of energy, our engineers and our designers, on making the use of a SmallHD monitor something that is more than just navigating a menu. You press a menu button and you click through a thousand layers of settings to get your monitor to do something. We focus a ton of creative energy and get a lot of feedback from the filmmakers to try to make a user experience that really feels like an operating system. So we call that operating system PageOS, and we are now at this show announcing PageOS 5, which has a ton of new features and just kind of usability upgrades over the previous PageOS 4.8.3, which was kind of where we were leaving off PageOS 4. And the most exciting thing to me about that is really the multi-view functionality that you see here on all of our 4K production monitors, which have 4 12G SDI inputs that can be shown simultaneously in a quad or a multi-view or even a side-by-side view setup, and you can configure those dynamically with a really user-friendly menu system, a UX experience, which is still a little bit rough here at NAB, but when we ship it in May, it will be everything that we've promised, and we're so excited because it's such a useful tool to be able to have 4 images plus tools, or 2 camera A, camera B, waveform, or false color below, and you can customize the position of where those windows will be. So that's multi-view is really cool. You don't need an extra box to get multiple images on screen.
And we're talking about 4K HDR?
Yeah, so all of these have their own color pipe, and it's a 4K monitor, but each of the inputs has its own color handling. So you could configure an SDR and an HDR quadrant of the same input if you wanted side by side. You can configure the color pipe however you want, which is a pretty powerful feature as well. And then other things from PageOS 5. So we've got Ed Lachman's zone system as a new type of false color that I think for cinematographers in the film industry will be super familiar with. Instead of using IRE percentages to judge brightnesses of your image, EL Zone uses a log input, and it actually measures stops above and below middle gray. So you can quickly look at your false color with EL Zone and just know, okay, my key is 2 stops over my fill, whatever. You can see that quickly on the fly with the color spectrum that we're using for EL Zone that Ed Lachman has specifically defined, and you can read about it online. When we roll out the marketing stuff, you can read about all the origin of it. We've also got on our touchscreen monitors, we have a lot of camera control licenses. So people can connect our Smart 7 monitors to Arri, Red, Sony cameras and control them using touchscreen software. But up till now, that page was a separate page from the tools pages that you can customize endlessly and configure on PageOS, which was annoying because if you wanted to see peaking or waveform or false color or frame lines or anything that PageOS provides, you'd have to swipe out of the camera control page. Now we're having what we call look around camera control outside of the 16:9 video. So in the few lines above and below, you'll see all of your camera control settings. Simply tap on ISO, you get your ISO menu, and you can configure ISO or whatever your camera of choice that you're using on any page. So
touch screen on these?
Not on these.
No,
that's
okay.
on our 7-inch
Okay.
monitors. Yeah. So that's pretty great. We also have an integration with CalMan from Portrait Displays for color calibration on our 4K monitors, and then later on our smaller monitors, where you can plug in CalMan running on a PC and do an auto calibration, to take a lot of the kind of user error that we all do. Some setting is configured wrong, and then you've calibrated your monitor wrong, which is a nightmare when you get to set. What else do we have? Oh yeah, we have improved our upscaling from HD inputs to our 4K monitors, so that for focus pullers you can have what might not be as visually pleasing for the home viewer, but the most absolutely
nice,
sharp image
crisp
when you're putting HD into a 4K display. So there's a few other things in there I'm sure I'm forgetting, but check out on our website, PageOS 5. It really is, a totally updated, our next generation of our operating system at SmallHD. And that runs on all of our monitors. Some of those functions are monitor specific, but PageOS 5 is for all kind of SmallHD monitors going back at least about 5 years. We're launching a new monitor here at NAB for the first time. It's a 27-inch OLED. It's the same technology as our 22-inch OLED, but it's larger, and it has a higher brightness. It can do up to 550 nits. So it's pretty darn close to what people are looking for in an HDR workflow from OLEDs, and we think that you could really get darn close to an HDR preview in this. But it also is a really great way to look at 4 cameras or 2 cameras simultaneously on this much larger screen. Same electronics that's in all of our 4K production monitors. OS 5, PageOS 5 as well, and multi-view. One of the great things about it, even though it's quite large, it's really lightweight. So if you've ever picked up the 22-inch OLED, it's like shockingly light. I don't know what the spec is on weight, but look
beautiful
on our
image.
website,
I don't know if it's going to translate to the home, but
true 10-bit, true 10-bit, 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio. So it's an OLED, and it's awesome. And the price is really, we think, is pretty compelling. It's $11,999, so $12,000 for a 27 4K OLED with 4 12G SDI inputs.
Wow.
One other monitor that we just announced a couple weeks ago at BSC show is the Cine 18. It's one of our production workhorse monitors, the Cine series, rugged, ergonomic, high bright, and really great color accuracy, but we didn't have a size in the middle. We had a 13 and a 24. The new 18 is really an amazing kind of versatile monitor. It's a bit larger than the classic 17-inch monitors, which I think is nice, but the increased size fits fine in that same kind of middle environment. Great for video villages, directors, focus pullers, operators. Really amazing color accuracy, and again, all the tools from PageOS 5 and the 412G SDI electronics platform, video processing platform from SmallHD. Okay, so here's another Smart 7 monitor. It's the Cine 7. It's also connected to a Teradek Bolt 4K, which has a new capability. We've been adding to it over the last few months, but it does wireless camera control over the video link. So Bolt, everyone knows Bolt's a zero delay uncompressed wireless video. We're getting video from this red Komodo over here to my right, but we're also sending commands back and forth. And I mentioned the look around camera control is available on every page of this monitor persistently. And here's how we do it. You simply just tap on the ISO. You could change it however you like. Change your frames per second. There's a bunch of things that are just always present on every page, but you can also add, your tools. So I want to add a look, get added to this page. This is actually the look page, so let me add a zebra or, a waveform. And now I've got that on this page. I can flip to another page and have it be clear, and I still have my camera control functions present. I can flop them to the side or to the top, depending on how I like to roll.
Well, that's a lot to talk about. Thank you very much for explaining everything.
Cool. Thank you, Jim.